Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. For our topic today, Gabe will be sharing with us how to increase engagement on your social media channels. That is definitely a topic you don't want to miss. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. One of the things that I have witnessed multiple times over the years, since the inception of social media in the 2000s, when it's really started to come out and kind of gain traction, is this pattern that occurs with all new social media channels. In the beginning, and this is very intentional, and you can Google this and look it up and read about it more extensively. But in the beginning, most social media channels open up and give you really powerful reach and really high engagement. The reason for that is they want their platform to be super attractive. They want to grow their audience. They're giving away anything they can to just drive engagement up. So I've seen Clubhouse go through this. I've seen Facebook go through it. I've seen TikTok go through it, and Instagram as well. And the goal of the platform, there's nothing wrong with this. This is just how platform works. The goal is to get you hooked and addicted to using it and get organic results. So when there's a high enough, engagement and results you're getting organically, then the platform pulls down organic reach and they offer you paid reach. So they build up their user base. You get all this great reach and engagement. I remember years ago, I could post on my Facebook page and 80% of my fans or more would see it on the page and I'd get a ton of engagement. Once Facebook matured a little bit more and they rolled out their advertising platforms and they just added more layers in, they dropped the organic engagement to very, very low. It's probably in the 5% range is what I see typically. That it varies based on pages and there's also that fluctuates. You can always look up those stats as well. But when they dropped the engagement, and they said, oh, you can still reach the same people. All you have to do is pay to reach them. And that's a very normal platform development and social media channel cycle that happens. And so whenever I hear people raving about the latest platform, whatever it might be, and how much reach and how much exposure they're getting, I'm always super happy for them. I'm hoping they're building an email list. I'm hoping they're capitalizing on that and getting people to deepen their relationship and not just be on that platform, because there is always a time in the future when that engagement is going to drop significantly. And the only way to continue to get that level of engagement is to pay for it. So all of that is a normal cycle in a social channel. And I really wouldn't be concerned about whatever part of the cycle you're in. It's more important to be consistent, which we talk about all the time on the show because it's important. So I'm going to be consistent with talking about consistency. But as far as how to increase engagement on your social media channels across the board, and you can test and see what works on each channel, and you can measure your success and make improvements from there. But one of the first things is remember not to just preach about your services and what you're offering and what you're up to. Don't make it a 24/7 commercial on your social channel. Because if you're just talking about, working with you, buying your services, buying your products, people will be very annoyed with that and it won't be a normal, engaging conversation. And social media is supposed to be surprise, surprise, social. And so don't overdo it with talking about your own services. We see somewhere around 25, 30% is plenty of the time, because if you get engagement with your other content, which I'll talk about here in a moment, then it's a lot easier to get people to pay attention when you are offering your services. So don't overdo it with talking about your services and products. Instead, one of the things that does work really well is you can share simple quotes and meme style content that people share, because then they're engaging with your content. They find it interesting, inspiring, or funny. And then they're going to comment, like, share that, and engage with it. So that's one of the things you can mix into your content. One of the other things that can be done, when done wisely, ethically, within how you want your business to operate and just measuring from an effective standpoint, is there are times to inject like current news and events into what you're talking about on your social feed. Generally speaking, it doesn't serve you well to bring in really polarizing things or, things that people are really angry about. but instead, as an example, I've seen some recent posts that have been pretty funny. I've laughed at them, I've engaged, and they've gotten the message across from the person posting them, where they kind of spoofed or used an example of the Johnny Depp trial. And they made up a whole kind of story about it. And then they made an offer at the end of that post. It was funny. It was relevant. It was what was going on in the news. And even though there's definitely some parts of that trial and things that happen are not funny, they're not things we should make light of. There's definitely some things that, are challenging, to say the least. There were pieces of it that when I saw it used on other channels, it's not something that I chose to do. It made sense. It was fun. It was interactive, and it got people engaging. So, well, that may not be the right news, to what we call as copywriters newsjacking, like going and kind of steal pieces of it and use it for marketing. That may not be the right thing for you, but there may be other things out there that are neutral enough that you're willing to engage with them and use them, but that they can be tied into a story or example of what you're going to talk about. So that can be done. Just think it through, test it. If anything, start on, in a place that feels safe to you and it feels in alignment with your brand. And I would say my best advice there is, when we're choosing to share things that might be a little bit outside of the norm, think about how you would talk about those things with friends that you care for and respect, in a way that it wouldn't, create an argument, but it would be something interesting to talking about. If you would bring it up with friends that maybe have different views than you, or, engage in those same things, but it could be a productive conversation. That's kind of a way that I look at that filter and say, if I could have that conversation with most people I run into and have an interesting conversation, I can probably use it here. If it's something that's super polarizing or offends people or makes them upset, I don't want anger and, people being offended being associated with my brand. So I'm going to stay away from those things. But again, used wisely, there's definitely some opportunity there. One of the other things that dramatically increases engagement is, again, remembering this is social media, so we need to be social, is when people like or share or comment, make sure that you thank them for engaging. Thank them for liking your post. You can message them on the side and say, hey, Jethro, thanks for liking this post. I appreciate you engaging with that. Just a simple touch like that will not only show them that you're paying attention and you care and you appreciate them engaging, but it also trains the algorithms to show that person more of your content. So it rewards people that are social on social media. Surprise, surprise. So taking that time to just engage with those that engage with you is one of the simplest ways to drive up engagement and get more people to see your messages. One of the other things that's a great idea is to take a look at your posting, any stats and analytics that you have from platforms. Facebook has some good ones. You can see different things with YouTube. You can look at LinkedIn, whatever, Instagram. You can look at whatever platform you're on, and you can see which posts got the most engagement or the most shares or the most reach. Because as you see a pattern of what's working, you can model your content after that. So planning ahead and having a structure and theme and kind of plan for the month is definitely a good idea. And then that way you can pre-prepare a lot of the content, and then it can be scheduled out or dripped out as you go. That's also one of the things that we love helping our clients with, is helping them prepare consistent social media posting. And then we help them post on a daily basis to Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And that way they've got 3 major social channels well covered with content that's going to make a big difference. So hopefully those will give you some good ideas to think about as you find ways to engage your audience more, to talk about things they want to talk about, and to just create more of that brand reach that ultimately is going to help for when that person is in pain or facing that challenge. You should be the top of mind person or company that they're going to come to. So I appreciate you taking time to tune in today. If you have questions about this, feel free to reach out, or if you're interested in working with us, you can head over to businessmarketingengine.com. Thanks again for your time today, and we'll see you tomorrow.